Think about someone you know. Maybe it's a close friend, maybe it's a family member, or maybe it's someone you went to school with who is completely missing from social media. No Instagram posts, no Facebook updates, no stories. Maybe they have an account, maybe they don't even have one. And when you ask them why, they usually give the same answer. I just don't need it. It's not really for me. I like to keep my life private. And you accept that answer. But somewhere in the back of your mind, you still wonder what's wrong with them. Are they hiding something? Are they depressed? Are they just very introverted? Or do they understand something that the rest of us constantly scrolling, posting, and sharing still haven't figured out? Because here's what I've found. Someone who doesn't use social media isn't just a person who never downloaded the app. They see the world in a very different way from most people. And once you understand how they think, you might start questioning your own relationship with the screen you carry around every day. There's a concept in psychology called self-disclosure regulation, the way people instinctively calibrate how much of themselves they make visible, and to whom. Most people who don't post have already been handed a ready-made explanation for it. Insecurity, low self-worth, something to work on. If that's been the running theory about you for a while, it may have started to feel true. It probably isn't. Before social media, this calibration happened naturally. You shared a photo with the people in the room. You told a story to the people who already knew the context. Then, within about a decade, the default shifted: post it, make it visible, broadcast it. And for a specific group of people, that shift felt instinctively wrong. Wrong not because they were ashamed of what they'd share, but because collapsing a private moment into public content felt like it was doing something to the moment itself, compressing it. Psychologists call the underlying trait here self-concept clarity, how stable and well-defined your sense of who you are already is. People with high self-concept clarity tend to need the confirmation of an audience less. The performance of a moment isn't required for the moment to have been real. But notice what these people actually do with their photos. Most of them aren't deleting them. They're keeping them. Enormous camera rolls, years of images, almost never shown to anyone. And they go back through them, often, alone. That distinction matters a lot, because it tells us the behavior isn't about detachment from their own experiences. It's about ownership of them. There's something that happens when you share a memory publicly. The way you remember it starts to reorganize around the response. How many people liked it? Whether it landed? What the reaction was? Slowly, the internal experience of the moment gets replaced by its social reception. The memory becomes partly the audience's and a little less yours. For people who don't post, there's often a felt sense of this, even without the language to explain it. They describe it as, I didn't want to ruin it, or it felt private even though nothing about it was secret, or once it's posted, it's not really mine anymore. Yeah, that's not a quirk. That's a very deliberate form of self-preservation, keeping the memory the way it actually was, before anyone else's opinion got anywhere near it. And there's also this, the audience problem. When you post a photo, you're not sending it to one person. You're posting it to everyone at once, your close friends, your colleagues, your relatives, someone you met twice at a work event years ago, all of them simultaneously. Researchers who study social media call this context collapse, the flattening of all your separate social worlds into a single public audience. And what it means in practice is that anything you share has to work for the most cautious, most public-facing version of your life. The inside joke can't be explained, the full story can't be told, and the real version of the moment has to be edited down into something safe to broadcast everywhere. For people who don't post, this tends to feel instinctively claustrophobic. The moment you picture the full audience, the whole committee of people who'd see it, something tightens. The photo starts to belong to a group rather than to a moment. And you can feel it happen, that slight internal flinch, before you even open the sharing screen. And most things worth keeping don't do well in a committee. People tend to misread this badly, because when someone's absent from social media, there's an unspoken equation a lot of people run. Visibility equals openness, and openness equals trustworthiness. So someone who doesn't post reads as suspect. Private to the point of cold, someone who must have something to hide, or someone who thinks they're above it. The person who doesn't post becomes the one who doesn't engage, the one who's hard to know. They've usually been told this, in some form or another, for years. But what they're protecting is often the exact opposite of distance. The absence isn't indifference to people. It's an instinct to keep what's genuinely intimate off the public record. The moments that belong to the people who were actually there, the parts of their life they're not willing to flatten into content. What reads as coldness is usually highly selective warmth. The people who know them well have already figured that out. Everyone else tends to stay confused, and the person in the middle, at some point, stops trying to explain. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes with being permanently misread, with knowing that I just don't want to share that is never quite enough, with having a rich interior relationship with your own experiences that other people can't see and aren't always sure how to trust. You've probably tried to explain yourself in a way that actually fit. It never quite got there. The people who don't post are opting out of performance, not connection. And those two things are very different. They know what the moment looked like, who was there, what it meant. They kept it because sharing it would have changed it. And they valued the real version more than the public one. Most people never find a way to name that instinct. You've been living it for years.